Hello, my Zentangle friends. This is Barbara Langston, CZT. Welcome to Not Perfect Zen and days 25 and 26 of Inktober Tangles 2022. With this series, I'm using a Micron 01, a blending stump, a graphite pencil, and sometimes an eraser. I do these on 2-inch tiles that I colored and cut. There's a link in the description if you want to know more about that. And then these are the hashtags you can use. I appreciate if you at least include this one so it's easy to find the work that you've been doing, and I really have enjoyed looking at it. I appreciate your following me and watching the videos and posting your work and your comments. I really love it. All right, let's bring my sketchbook over here. So days 25 and 26 are Kwazeela by Eni Oken and Feliz by Sabine Abel. And both of these ladies are CZTs. So let's zoom in first on the one for Kwazeela. I really had fun with this one. I like it. I like it a lot. Eni Oken has an awesome website. She has an art club. She has also a mobile app called Art Raffle, and it's a lot of fun to work with. If you have trouble picking patterns, it will pick some patterns for you, and I highly suggest it. I think it's only for Apple phones right now. I'm not really sure about that. I have an iPhone, but yeah, I had fun with that one. So get my paper and just a quick demo of how this pattern works. She starts with kind of a tall stem, I guess you could call it. She said she drew this as a new kind of leaf. She wanted some more variety in her option for leaves, and this is just her idea. So I did that, and then I aura'd it, and then she puts dots down toward the beginning, and then we have another one that comes out this way, and I may have done that a little bit too big, but it's okay. And then from the top of this, we're going to kind of take off, come in this way, and then we're going to come around and aura this bottom part, right? And then the next thing that she does is to add drama, I guess is the best way, shading. We're going to fill this in a little bit with black. We're going to do the same thing down here. Okay, now once you've done that, then we're going to add some hatching in each of these areas. Okay, we're going to add a little bit of ink right here, and then we're going to do the same thing. Adds a little bit of shading, and then down here also. And don't worry about trying to make these a certain length. or width apart. It's just adding a little bit of shading. Okay, so that's basically how that pattern works. And then I'll show you on the tile how I shaded it. So I'm going to try to kind of have this flow in that direction. So I'm going to start with one over here, bring it back down, and then I'm going to aura it and bring it around. And now we add our little dots and then come back to the bottom. It's almost like flux. And then we're going to come off the top of this one, come around, and then add this aura back down to the beginning. So this is opposite of that first one. So I'm going to put my additional dark line here on this side, and then on this side. And then add a little bit right here also. Then we're going to do the hatching. This one kind of reminds me of butterfly wings, and I tried to do something similar to that in my sketchbook, but it didn't turn out to actually look like a butterfly wing. Okay, so now we're going to go around this with an aura. Put our other little petal here. Again, we come off the top of this one. I come in a little bit and then come around. And then back down. Okay, now we start adding a little bit of weight up here and here and again down here. And then our hatching. And what I do with my hatching is all of them, I kind of have them going in the same general direction. All right, so now I'm going to do the same thing, coming out of here. I'm going to come up and do my long one. And come around from this side. Add my little dots. And that one's kind of big, but I'm going to have it look like it's going behind. And then aura here and around that way. Eni has a lot of examples of this on her website. And if you happen to get the art raffle app, then she does have links to lots of examples. I really do like her app. It's very useful. And I would do a video using it, except that I have to use my phone to use the app. So that makes it, I mean, I have to use my phone to make videos, so it makes it kind of hard to also use it in my video. Okay, I'm going to come up again with this one. Coming around. You can have this one come over your last one a little bit. And behind. Adding our dark edge here at the top. The other thing that Eni Oken offers is video lessons that you could buy. You can join her art club, or you can buy individual lessons. Excellent lessons. Okay, and we could add, just going to add one of the little ones just to kind of fill this in. All right, and now for shading, where we have these dark lines, I'm just going to put a little bit of graphite under each one of these. Okay, under that little part too, I think I got them. And then take your blending stump and then just soften that a little bit. It gives it just a little bit more shadow down there. Okay. If you have a little bit of an open space here, you could take your blending stump and with the graphite that's left on there, just put a little bit of a shadow there. And I want to show you one that I made. And I'm probably going to add more to this, but I just kept going around. I put a circle on here kind of as a guide, and then I didn't use it. But this is where I was saying, see, with my blending stump, adding just a little bit of shading between these, and it really gives it, I think, a nice look. All right, so there we are. Kwazeela by Eni Oken. All right, and our next pattern is Feliz by Sabine Abel. Oops, sorry, CZT. And this one is fun in a grid, or you can just fill in some spots individually with the pattern. And I'm going to go straight to my tile, and I'm going to do this one in a grid and try to make it kind of even. It starts with dots. And I'm trying to make them square, but they will not be perfect. Oops, sorry, this is moving. Okay, the next thing that we're going to do is between these dots, we're going to put kind of a diamond shape like this. Okay, so I'm going to do that one at a time. And it might help to kind of find your center points. Always helps me to have something to aim at. All right, we're going to do the same thing with all of these. Make them not too wide, but not too skinny either. Same thing here, because we do want a little bit of room for the design in the center. This one's definitely not a perfect grid. I do have a stencil grid that I got from my first CZT, Victoria Macmillan, but I always forget to get it out. So it's okay. So we're going to do the same thing here. We just want to do this to enjoy what we're doing. It doesn't have to be perfect. I think these are a little bit thinner than the others, and that's okay. Also a little bit crooked. I have a poster that says this is not a contest. You're not being graded. Just enjoy it one line at a time. So I remind myself of that often. All right, so step one was the dots. Step two is making your little diamond shapes. And then the next thing we're going to do is add some orbs in here. One in the middle and one on each side, and then we're going to fill in the spaces, the negative space. Trying to, the other word is interstices. I can never say that right. So the extra space, fill in the extra space. That's easy to say. I'll try not to make this take too long. You're welcome to speed it up, as always. These don't have to be perfectly round. But if you take your time, filling in this negative space should also be relaxing for you. Just enjoy it. In the beginning, I did not necessarily enjoy filling in, but just take your time and watch how your tile changes when you add the drama like this, especially when you have some bright colors like I do here. These tiles that I did that have just a touch of extra color are my favorites. And I'm happy to say that we have not had rain here in the Houston area for weeks. It's kind of either it's a lot of rain or no rain. And the last 2 weeks have been no rain. This morning we had like a 9% chance. And then we got 2 inches of rain. Hooray! All of my trees were saying, thank you, thank you. Plus the lawn, which was starting to die. Usually we still have a fair amount of green grass until sometimes December or later. Okay, I'm not necessarily getting these filled in completely. I'll probably come back and fix it. I really like how this pattern looks. I have found several new favorites. A lot of these are new to me, and that's one of the nice things about these challenges. I get to learn new patterns and work with them until I figure out how to do them. And then I get to show you. Okay, 2 to go. And if you end up going in a little bit like I did, you can just round it off. All right. Like I said, I may come back and fix these a little bit, or I might have missed filling it in. Okay, so the next thing that she does is puts an aura just inside. It's almost like a four-pointed star. All right. And I really like how this turns out, looking a little wonky, not perfect star. Oops. Awesome. So the next thing I'm going to do is just put a little bit of a C shape inside of these bigger ones. You can do just a little bit. I'm going to turn this. You can put a little bit of a C shape in the little ones. And we're not worried about which way is the light coming from. We're just going to put a little bit of the shadow in here to give these little orbs some shape, so they're not looking flat. This is how I do my little orbs that sometimes look like pearls. Okay, now I'm going to take my blending stuff and just softly soften these. And there's enough graphite on here that I can still use it, or I might have forgotten to put the graphite down. And plus, these are so small, I just want a little bit of shadow on one side. Okay. And then I still have plenty of graphite here. I'm just going to put a little bit of the shadow inside each one of these. All All right, so that is Feliz and Kwazeela. And let me show you again real quick what it looked like in my sketchbook. And now we're going to add it to the frame. So that's 25 and 26. Wow, only 5 to go. Again, here's your hashtags. I love to see your work. Please subscribe and hit the like button. That helps to support my channel. I hope you'll come back in 2 days and we'll do this again. Thanks so much for joining me. I will see you next time. Bye.